Want a copy of my book, The Speculator's Mosaic, just check below, or it can also be bought on Amazon. Some of you have seen the chart of the performance that we have had, and there are two things I'll say about that. One is the performance is very good, but the other is very volatile. And therefore, that's another reason why, please, do your own due diligence and be very careful on making sure you do that. I have to raise another toast, in this case, to one of our favorite silver miners, Endeavor. The toast is based on Endeavor hitting the yearly high for the year. 1047 is definitely a stock that we continue to favor very strongly. You may recall that we've been dealing with the major increase in their mine production, including of silver, as a result of opening up the major new Terranero mine, and that got to full production starting in the beginning of October, and we are going to see very dramatic increases in revenues, which have been going on for some time. The quarterly revenues for Endeavor, I think, is about the fastest of any silver company I know, since it was no more, I believe, than 20 million at some point in 2024, and has moved up to well over 100 million, with the potential for 2026 of 800 or 900 million in terms of total revenues. This is a very dramatic increase in revenues, and it will be followed by a very dramatic increase in earnings, which up to now have not been that great, but from now on, I believe, will be significant. The most recent estimates I've seen for 2026 earnings per share for Endeavor are around 70 to 80 cents a share, and with the stock at 10, even after the move up to this new high for the year, we're talking about, 12 or 13 times what is now this year's earnings. I think can go much higher. And also, most of the estimates I find will be behind the times, in the sense that when you've had as dramatic an increase in the price of a commodity as we've seen in silver, the estimates will take a while to catch up. So if we have, as I mentioned, a 75-cent earnings per share estimate for this year, the actual number could be dramatically higher than that if we get continued bull market in silver, which we also saw today, silver hitting over $80 an ounce for the first time in history. So you put those together, and the other major factor on a longer term basis is the enormous reserves of silver ore that Endeavor has, not from the Terranero mine, but from an even larger mine, and the fact that they have raised over $300 million to increase and ramp up their exploration and development budget, which will include doing hopefully work within the next year or two that could lead to starting production, or at least having the money to start production on this even larger mine. And so therefore, despite the fact that it's gone from, I believe it got down to 1.5 when we first took a look at it a couple of years ago, to 10, that this is only the beginning for the value of the great silver company Endeavor Silver.